I would like to welcome you all to our webinar on driving and measuring engagement at your campus events. We appreciate you spending 30 minutes with us today and taking the time to learn how Cypress College created their mobile experience and facilitated a measurably more successful campus event. Today in this webinar, you will learn how Cypress College delivered a unified digital experience that improved access to their critical campus resources and how they harness the energy of the students in the creation and evolution of their campus apps. My name is Chris Canieto, and I'm the marketing specialist from Modo Labs. And joining me today is Peter Maharaj, Manager of Technology Services and Academic Computing at Cypress College. I am now going to hand things off to Peter to get our conversation about engaging campus events experiences started.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Maharaj, as Chris announced earlier, and thank you, Chris, for welcoming me and our Cypress community to present on a recent event in partnership with Modo Labs over the past, I would say, a year in the implementation and then planning for our particular event. So the workshop is really about looking at the use of the mobile application and how we went about doing data integration and trying to find a true purpose with to serve the student body and the use of technology within our infrastructure, and again with the partnership with Modo Labs. What we have here is on this particular slide. This is the current Cypress Connect app. It's available on both iOS and Android stores at this point. So go ahead, download. This is the initial release of phase 1, which took place in August of this year. So the event that we looked at was a transfer event that occurred about 5 weeks ago here on our campus. Again, the goal of this particular project was transforming the student and visiting university's experience. We wanted to look at ease of access, the communication methodology, the transfer information, as well as the use of the Cypress Connect app. Now, access, specifically meaning how do these students utilize this particular the Cypress Connect app and engage with the content for the transfer event. Well, one of the things that we did was we built a module within the Modo Labs platform that was tailored towards this particular event. Now, this is an action that we're going to be practicing in the future events that we have here on the campus. And encompassing in that, we used the QR code scanner. We provided information to the transfer center. And then we had a little bit of a marketing spiel too with other resources that we provide from the transfer center. So sort of like a direct lead into other services for our transfer program here at Cypress College. Communication, of course, everything, it's kind of cool to have a hashtag. So a lot of social media hype went behind this. We had a very inclusive marketing campaign that led into this. Again, this project was championed by students, and it was for students, and it definitely brings a perspective of what students are seeking from a particular event. So it helped a lot with getting that buzz, getting that buy-in, and having a purpose within the event itself. Transfer info, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, the module within the mobile application had access and resources to the transfer center. So appointments, visiting universities that are coming to our campus. So having that information directly available to the users of the mobile application. And of course, we want to continue to drive a traffic or eyes on our app and use of the application. So this is just one mechanism of continued usage of the app and also revisits of the application. So when everything comes together on a particular event, what we'll see is really a transformation of how we utilize that technology for a particular event. So what we're doing here at Cypress is really thinking digitally. We look at the trends within higher education. Now, mobile applications have been around for a while, and you have the environments that are static. We want to do things a little different here, and schools are moving in that direction, whereby they're looking at, and I call students the customer, but so the customer is seeking a particular experience. What we're looking at is specifically an accurate, a concise, and a directed outcome for our students. So meaning integration into our ERP system. Students can actually register for classes. They can check their schedules. They can connect to the LMS. They can access other resources. And as we build these modules out for our campus community, we're starting to see a little bit of growth on that engagement, those revisits. And that's important in the innovation of this technology that we implemented here at the college. Now, this is important, a little pitch here to Modo. This is important to actually having a partner that can help us drive and assist us in attaining these goals. So having the support, our project managers at Modo Labs in supporting our campus goals is very important. And so far, it's been very favorable as we move on to the different phases of our entire mobile project lifespan. A little bit about the timeline for the transfer event that we had. So initial planning occurred with our registrar's office, so committee, logistics, event information, and the use of the mobile application. Now, if you remember, I mentioned about the mobile application being launched in August, and we have an enthusiasm here, a passion with our employees here at Cypress College to really stretch the boundaries, use new technology, embrace this technology. So our registrar, David Booz, has been a very positive supporter with this technology and recognizing where our students are seeking to be connected and use of this application. So our timeline, again, planning began in September for this event. Looking at the mobile module development, so integration of services. So this particular phase encompassed what the design is going to look like, what features we're going to use for this project, including the QR code scanner. That was very important in again having a rich user experience. So that began soon after the planning of the event. A lot of testing, quality assurance was important, making sure that it was cross-platform functional, and then feature reviews. So making sure that the QR code scanner worked, making sure that we're collecting the data from the event, being available within our database via our dashboard. So a lot of QA went into this project as well. And most importantly, the day of the event, using the app and follow through for the staff that were overseeing the project. So in my department, the technology services department, we were ensuring that things were functional. I mean, I was basically hovering around and making sure that folks were using the application, but that was easy. That was the functional piece. The next part, of course, is the use of that data at the end, which we were able to assist with the administrators of the department. And this data led into information that will be conveyed onto the universities, as well as now you have a data set that our transfer events are now able to access and utilize. So again, this comes back to the value proposition. Why were we doing this particular project? Again, it's about digital transformation. Moving from the traditional sign-up, you remember the little clipboards and folks signing in their names and said, I visited, USC or UCLA or MIT. That was the transition of for the user and getting that experience. We were efficiently collecting data and use for program improvement. So that program improvement will lead to, changes that are coming up for future transfer events, future campus visits. There are a lot of things, takeaways that I learned together with my team here on what changes were needed for ensuring that we were functional and could be much more responsive in the future. Now, very important, having a student voice. This matters. I will see things from a different perspective to what a student is actually expecting from our campus. And again, I have a champion here within my office. Her name is Maria Alvarez, and she was a voice to reckon with. She continues to move forward with a lot of these projects and brought about very positive experience, not only for this event, but for future events that we're planning to have. So these were all attained with this particular project and this transfer event, again, that occurred a few weeks back. So the next steps, what's going to happen to Cypress College and Cypress Connect? Well, a lot more integration of services. We're looking at methods of improving and fine-tuning smart systems that will provide resources to the end user, a tailored approach through a mobile application. We're looking for the phase 2 of this project is the class shopping with a registrar module integration into our Cypress Connect application. And again, we want to accelerate the access to resources. We want to make sure that it's engaging, it's concise, and it's exactly what our students are seeking, as well as the community. We have a lot of prospective students that are seeking to enter into community colleges. They're unsure about what degree programs, what career trajectory, making sure that we're providing these resources away from the desktop. I mean, the desktop information is still there, but as I'm sure we all do know that mobile access and mobile applications are something of a quick trajectory growth, exponential over the past few years, and that's where we need to be at the college. So the direction that we're headed is definitely much more enriched and engaging content for our end users, the students and the community. Now, this project, as I mentioned, and I'll continue to do this for other projects in the future, these are student-driven initiatives. These are projects that our students are seeking to have. They want to have, custom application, custom modules that will provide resources that are driven to their needs. So the student voice plays a vital role into this, listening to their feedback, listening to how they can utilize other resources, how they can connect with counselors, how they can connect with their faculty. These are all very important components of that enriched user experience that we're seeking. Now, innovation, it's a buzzword that goes around quite a bit. We can buy an application, we can buy a service, or get into a contract with a vendor, but not take action. And then this is the importance. Without action, the innovation is not going to be useful. And that's what this tool and the partnership with Modo Labs actually lends to Cypress College, is the ability to change the program and service to meet our particular needs, taking action on these resources that they're provided, customized approach to these services that can cater to what the customer is seeking. So a great growth trajectory we see for future events, as well as additional services that we're going to be integrating. And I'll say this, services that I am not aware of right now, and this is why the student voice plays into this very important part of our growth. So new features for the Cypress Connect app, a lot more cloud integration services, direct access to the Canvas, which is our learning management system, Banner, which is what we use here as well for our student record keeping. That's phase 2, which is in process right now. We're looking at other things such as location awareness, access to information on campus based on location for the user, smart search options, making it easier, direct access and information, improving the results to the end user. And another buzzword, but I firmly believe in it, which is this digital disruption, using the technology that we have at our disposal right now to really drive that change within the organization. And that's what we are about here at Cypress College, is about seeking ways to improve student experience, our colleagues as well, the employee and staff experience, and then making sure that the community is also involved in this whole process. Now, Cypress Connect, Cypress College, we're about transformational change. Again, it's for driving the success for our students, our employees, our colleagues, as we move forward. Like I mentioned at the start of this presentation, we're looking to improve access, improve the communication, looking at the technology, a lot more efficiency with the technology, having a fiscal mindset and making sure that we're attaining our goals, a rich return on investment for the college, and most importantly, connecting people. That's what we're about here at this college, and this is, again, the partnership that we have with Modo Labs and others is really about seeking to have a competitive and responsive environment moving forward. And this brings me to the end. You know, this is we're in Cypress, and it's taking the journey together. So the journey begins with, again, hearing the voices of our students, our faculty and staff, and then finding a solution that can best satisfy those components. So Modo Labs have been a great partner thus far, and we look to continue building upon this for our future. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. That was really terrific. As we transition to the next portion, we're actually going to dive into a Q&A portion of today's webinar. First question, how did the students experience this transfer fair compared to some of the previous transfer fairs?
So the feedback I've received is that this was cool, you know, in the sense that they can just go up to a table, scan the QR code, enter some information, and start that engagement process. There's no longer filling out, again, the clipboard with their, you know, the past workshops. So within that context, it was different. It was a positive outcome or an experience for our students, and they're looking forward to future events utilizing this technology.
Sounds good. And that's sort of a follow-up to that question. How long did it take you to create this transfer fair module experience, and who exactly did the work on that module?
So, you know, we did a lot of planning. If you remember from the timeline, there's a long planning phase, but I'm going to be honest here to the group, it took about 3 hours to build the module. And it was about, again, taking these ideas, sort of compiling them into what the interface should look like. I worked on this project together with our programmer who built the back end. So we had a SQL database in the data collection process, and we had a dashboard. So the college uses in-house dashboard. So there's a mechanism that we can compile and aggregate data. And you know, we've had help with feedback, general feedback on what the interface is going to look like. But overall, if I had to tally the amount of time from the actual use of the Modo Labs, how do I say this? The development platform, maybe about 3 hours, and that's inclusive of the dashboard piece as well. So not very long.
That really is terrific. It reminds me of like last minute projects where you're trying to scram some things together.
Of course, that comes back to the ease and convenience of what the platform offers. Is that quick, the ability to put these things together. It's the time goes into what needs to be on the module. Other than that, the development phase is actually quite simple and intuitive.
Perfect. So you touched a little bit on the topic of working with Maria, the student that you hired, to get a better sense of how the student community would and how they would like to use your mobile app. Can you share some specific ways of how you brought in your students into the process of creating your mobile app?
Sure. So I'll go back. Maria actually came to me with this grand idea, and she basically found a problem that I didn't know that existed. And this brings about that student perspective, and that's really about getting the student's voice into and solutions into solving some of these problems that I was not paying attention to. And so the Cypress Connect app was again launched in August, and it's a good platform for us to build on. Maria came to me and said, look, and again, Maria served on the Associated Students. She was president, and we've been in conversation over the past year on a lot of projects that we're doing. So we're doing website, we're doing, we have an IoT project here at the college. We have a solar powered, a lot of other projects that, again, student driven, because they are for our students and the community. So the idea for the transfer event, she came to me with regards to this pitch. And so we needed to find a project. And the project was, again, the transfer event. And how could we go about utilizing this technology to improve that experience? And so Maria, came up with some great ideas, not only on the technology side, but engaging the other stakeholders within the transfer center. So everything from the QR code development, because every table had a QR code. So every university had a unique code to them. So she created all the QR codes, was able to find the funding for the little holders, and going about with a little campaign. So every one of the administrators had a jacket. So it was almost if you know from when you take a flight in the airport and there are folks that are directing the aircraft. Well, it's the concept is that your education is about to take off. So that was quite fun, and so it's more than just the mobile application. It's an encompassing piece that brought about this awareness for this transfer event. So hopefully that answers the question, Chris.
That's perfect. And then the last question I have, I think this will probably take up just the last few minutes that we have before the top of the hour. But as you talked about launching your app, you talked a little bit about creating buy-in across your institution and really unifying all the stakeholders around a single digital transformation tool. Like you mentioned, Cypress College is all about digital transformation. Can you share any practical tips on how to create that buy-in, how you did that, or ways that you engage some of the folks that are outside of your department in the mobile solution?
Yeah, no problem. It's at the end of the day, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of meetings and a lot of speaking. So it's really presenting the tools to the end users, letting them know what's coming, what's in play for future projects. And again, these decisions are not just based off of out of my department. We try to do the collective agreement on many parts of our projects, address problems that we're seeking to fix and address, and then creating timelines on how and when we can actually do this, creating the teams, the technical teams that are needed. So again, one approach is just getting to meet with the different department heads, the deans. I'm involved with Academic Senate discussions there as well. Again, working with our sister college, which is Fullerton College, our district office, North Orange. And then, under our leadership of Dr. Joanna Schillen, it makes it easy in that sense, because we have leaders here at Cypress College that are seeking to have that institutional change, that recognize that that technology is a conduit to that communication, and where our students are existing at this point, what are their expectations. So that makes it so much easier as well when you have a team that's supporting you, from all the deans that we have here on our campus to the colleagues and folks that are within my office. So it makes it much more easier and in that context of communicating and having that buy-in. So again, how we integrate is it plays into that relationship that we establish with our stakeholders. So at the end of the day, getting in front of folks, presenting your ideas, presenting projects that are up and coming, looking at tools that can fit within our organization, and making sure that we have a buy-in from our campus community is important. And last but not least, leadership. Leadership plays into this. It's very important to have good bosses from our chancellor all the way to our staff that are leading this change, are excited about this change, and recognize the need for this improvement.
At this point, we're just at the top of the hour, and we'll need to conclude the webinar for today. I want to give a humongous big thank you to Peter from Cypress College. I truly share your excitement about what you've done with the Cypress Connect app. And I want to give a big thank you to our audience today for joining us so late into the school season. If you have any questions for Cypress College or Modo Labs, you can please reach us at communications@modolabs.com. And I just wanted to mention the announcement of Krogan 2019. It is the largest higher ed conference and will be co-hosted with MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the birthplace of Modo Labs. You'll get to hear more incredible stories, just like Peter's from Cypress College, of how Modo Campus is changing and impacting student experiences and success all over the world. And just a final quick reminder to everyone that you will be receiving a recording of this webinar directly to your inbox to rewatch or share with your colleagues. Thank you so much, and hope you all have a terrific day.